Thank you so much. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to church on such a delightful and gorgeous Sunday morning. So grateful you're here, and those of you, of course, online as well. We're going to start right now with our opening chant, One Life. 1, 2, 3, 4. We are all connected, a global family. There's no separation, only unity. We are one life. There is one life, only one life. We are one life. There is one life, only one life. We combine our voices, we align our hearts. The power of God's within us, we'll never be apart. We are one life, there is one life, only one life. We are one life, there is one life, only one life. We are one life, there is one life, only one life. We are one life, there is one life, only one life. We
The musical stylings of our house band. Incredible. Welcome, good morning, what a glorious day. I am Sam Crutcher, and I'm a practitioner here at the North Hollywood Church of Religious Science. We're so glad to have you with us. Please take a moment to silence your phones. Thank you. Let us join together in prayer. In this moment, at this time, in this place, our beloved sanctuary, I recognize that God is all there is. The one life, the one love, the one presence, the one light is the mind of God. We are awash in this spirit. And I know that each of us are individualized personifications of this one mind, of this expression of love and light. And that all the attributes of God are contained within us: balance and harmony and joy and truth and beauty and grace. We all exhibit this on a personal and communal level. We gather here today to share in the communal uplift that Spirit will provide us and continues to embolden and embrace us throughout our days ahead. We are blessed by the musical stylings of our incredible musicians and our soloists. We are blessed by the volunteers and the tech team that enable us to broadcast over time zones throughout the internet, and right here in person by the wonderful Reverend Sydney, who gives us the message as a channel of what is well-founded, unlimited, and unending, the truth about Spirit. We hear what we need to hear, we get what we need to get, and we celebrate this together in knowing that it is the truth that we are the children of the Most High, that we are the gift we give to ourselves by recognizing and developing a connection to that inner knowingness that Spirit is within. We are the blessed children of God, and we express this in our lives as we see fit, as we are able. And I believe that all of us have the capacity and the ability to connect to that indwelling presence that gives us the power, the strength, that supports, sustains, and nurtures us on a minute-by-minute and a day-by-day basis. And for knowing this, I affirm that this is the truth. I affirm that this is so. I'm grateful. My heart soars like a hawk to know this is the truth. I say it is so. I release this into the law of mine, and so it is. And together we say, Amen.
Be still and know that I am God. Be still and know that I am God. Be still and know that I am God. Be still. Be still, be still, and know that I am loved. Be still and know that I am loved. Be still and know that I am loved. Be still, be still, be still, and know that I am peace. Be still and know that I am peace. Be still and know that I am peace. Be still, be still, be still, and know that I am God. Be still. And know that I am God. Be still, be still, be.
The Lord's Prayer. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. Lead us not to temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory forever.
Please remain standing for our congregational song, God is the Love That I Am. 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 And so it is. God is the joy that I am. God is the joy that I am. God is the joy that I am. And so it is. Every day and every way, I have everything that I need. When I say love is the way, I have every chance to succeed. God is the love that I am. God is the love that I am.
Please be seated. And as we settle in, let's also take a moment to look around and silently bless those around us with a wave, a smile, and a namaste.
And wave to the camera.
And wave to the camera. Over there. I take offstage cues very well. Thank you very much. We're going to meditate, not medicate. We're going to meditate together. I have a shirt that says heavenly meditated. Most people mistake it for heavenly medicated. First glance. We're going to meditate together for the next 5 minutes. I invite you to close your eyes and silently repeat the mantra, God's the love that I am. If your mind wanders, just bring it back to silently repeating, God's the love that I am. And I will bring us out of our meditation in 5 minutes.
to Spirit I surrender all to Thee. I freely give.
Wow, you have no way of knowing this, but one of the quotes I was meditating on this morning is one that read, empowerment is disguised as surrender, because we are surrendering not to something outside of ourselves, but to that power and presence within us. Empowerment, it masquerades as surrender. When we surrender, it's not that we are, and this is a quote from my wonderful husband, it's not that we are giving up, we are opening up. We are opening up to that presence, and that's where the true power and the wisdom and the joy of connection, of this light that you and I each are inhabited by, that's where we connect it. This has so nothing to do with my talk. Okay. Except maybe it's a new talk. I don't know. Couple of things to consider. Well, first of all, one thing to consider. Today is Grandparents' Day. Who's a grandparent? Yeah? Okay. We honor you. We congratulate you. Yes. Who knew? Last week, I think it was Chocolate Day. So, of course, in my world, every day is Chocolate Day. Okay. Couple of things to consider. Emerson wrote, each one of us is an inlet to God and may become an outlet to God, which means that we are a channel. We are that open channel, that conduit, that we are the inlet, and understand that this is from within. And that as we embrace that and identify with it and as it, know that and practice knowing that we are part of that and that we are here as expressions of that, then we may become outlets to God, to that wisdom, to the brilliance, to the knowing, to the joy that we seek, to our purpose perhaps, to our compassion, to our service to others. And then there's another quote, and this is from a book called I Will Not Die, An Unlived Life by a woman by the name of Donna Markova. And she wrote, what if the moments of the greatest wounding in your life were also places where the divine crossed your path and the unquenchable dream of your life was born? I'm going to read that again. What if the moments of the greatest wounding in your life were also places where the divine crossed your path and the unquenchable dream of your life was born? How often do we look at the woundings of our life, the pain, and we just stay there. We anchor there. We stop there. And I get it. Pain is pain. And when we find ourselves so defined by that and so constricted and constructed by that, then we do not allow ourselves the availability of that surrender, of that empowerment that comes from really opening up. Now, the reason I'm giving all of this context is that tomorrow is September 11th, 2023, and it marks the 22nd anniversary of 9/11, when this country was attacked without warning, and along with the loss of so many lives, came changes, came shifts, and not just for our country and for ourselves personally, but for the world. And so I want to look at that and see that we might honor it and love it. You know, I think that any area in our life that is perhaps triggering us or disturbing us, distracting us, is an area that's calling for more love. It's calling for more love. You know, those wounds aren't seeking for us to just take a baseball bat to them and make them worse, right? We're not here to open up the wound and go, there, how does that feel? I'll give you something to cry about. That's not what we do with our wounds. You know, some of the changes that we have are part of our travel experience now. Some changes are in our relations with other nations and the ways in which we perceive and deal with people of other cultures, religions, beliefs, traditions. So there's a lot that we have shifted. And for many, many people, I know that the biggest thing that occurred was the deep disruption in the faith that we were a nation of peace and security, There was a big gash in that understanding. The shattering of our outer defenses has had a deep resonance as well as a deep mirroring within our souls. Wouldn't you agree? The repercussions of our outer experiences. The repercussions of our outer experiences can vibrate within us for generations. They become those psychic wounds, and not necessarily just the bad things that happen, but that stuff that we participate in the world, that we observe, that we relate to, that we identify with. They can vibrate within us for generations. And in the midst of those events that truly shake us, I want to know, can we find a path to awakening that heals, that lifts us up, offers transformation, and possibly even faith? Spoiler alert, that's why I'm here, yes. And what a century we have had so far, just since that day. I'm not going to go through the litany. I mean, you all know. There's so much that we have gone through, lived through, experienced, seen, been a part of. And it would be so easy to write humanity off and to default to cynicism and simply say, check please, and give up. But we're not here for that. I'm not here for that, and I know that that's not who we are, because we are so much more. We are so much more. Ernest Holmes, the founder of this teaching, reminded us over and over and over that you and I are centers for the divine operation of God. We are centers, and we are centered in the divine operation of God. You know, we often hear this quote, and it's been attributed to everyone from St. Augustine to Emerson to, Jerry Seinfeld. But the quote is that God is that presence whose center is everywhere and the circumference is nowhere. So you and I are right there in that center. And even Hafiz, the Persian poet, wrote that where you are is exactly, and I'm mangling the quote, but it has been circled for you on the map of your life. Exactly where you are has been circled for you. You are there. You navigated to that. So there's a recalibration that we must do, I think, on a daily basis, sometimes moment by moment, when we are confounded by what goes on in the world. You know, the phrase shock and awe, right? The phrase shock and awe comes to mind. And I'm going to appropriate it, so I just wanted to let you know that, because my talk is all about recontextualizing that. You know, if we can recalibrate and recontextualize and remember that we are centers of the divine operation of God, you know, we can reframe the power we have been given instead of outsourcing to the world around us for our peace, for our security. And I think it has a lot to do by changing the words we use and changing the meaning we give them. Now, our response to 9/11 was described as shock and awe. And I am in no way here to discuss the rights and the wrongs, the philosophical differences, the nuances, any of that. But what I am here to do is to offer tools that might free us from identifying our present lives with our past experiences such that we might move into the greater peace here and now. Does that make sense? Is that reasonable? Okay. Thomas Troward said it this way: principle is not bound by precedent. And the infinite power and presence that we call God, that we call spirit, we call life, we call love, is not bound by human or earthly experiences and conditions. It's absolutely not. Ernest Holmes said this: never limit your view of life by any past experience. The possibility of life is inherent within the capacity to imagine what life is, backed by the power to produce this imagery or divine imagination. We do not have to be limited in any shape, way, or form by the perceptions we have or by the experiences that we have had. We do not have to do that. Ernest also said that the illusion is in the way we look at things. It's in the way we look at things. So my message today was titled Finding Peace in the Shock and Awe, or Finding Shock and Awe in the Peace. But there's also more to it. So stay with me here, because I think I'm about to make an important point. I talked with Sam and the band before we started. Jasmine, would you unmute the band? Because I want to make sure that people who are, thank you, who are listening in, who are streaming, can hear this. That shock and that awe that comes from dissonance, that comes from something that just seems wrong. We have the capacity to know and to remember that that dissonance is not standing by itself, that the consonance is big enough to include the dissonance. The harmony is big enough to include the disharmony. As I said a few weeks ago, our wholeness is big enough to include the brokenness. And that's what we have to remember, that we are not all what we see. We are not all of what we experience. And so when we have a dissonance, that's pretty dissonant. Do it again, only let it ring. Okay, I told him I wanted to hear a gnarly half step. That's a gnarly half step. That's E and F right next to each other on the piano. And that's dissonance. That's a real obvious, but let's wrap it in context. Let's give it some greater meaning. Let's do it again. There we go. So in the middle of that dissonance, or rather in the middle of that consonance, that beautiful, give me a really big F major 7. Yeah, get Charlie in on it. That'll fix it. He's got to pull the guitar out of the case. He's got to plug it in. He's got to do the whole... Come on, Charlie, you knew about this gig. Now play the dissonance again, just you. Now play the big chord. Okay. Is your harmony big enough? Thank you. Thank you. Is your harmony big enough to include your disharmony? Yes, it is. Because if all we are going to look at is that thing that is hurting, then we are absolutely going to miss the greater message around it, the greater understanding that is trying to emerge from it. You know, that's what birth is all about, is not getting stuck in the fact that it hurts, because you'd never birth that child. You would never give birth to the idea, the greater you, the greater possibility. You would never do that because of the pain. But what we know is that pain is an invitation to look deeper. It is an invitation to consider what's going on. And is there something there for you to know? Is there someone for you to be? Is there a greater piece of information there? And so what I'm looking at is the fact that in the midst of all of our shocks, all of our awes, that there is peace in the midst of that. And it never goes, it never fades. We go and we fade, yeah? We forget to remember that there is this bigger context. And I remember one time Marianne Williamson saying, we never really know if we're on page 3 of the story or page 593 of the story. We always assume we're way over here at page 593. And yet page 3 is where that thing, that trigger, that wound, that injury, that dissonance opens up to that great consonance and that greater knowing of ourselves. And that's important. Ernest Holmes wrote that peace is the power at the heart of God. Peace is the power. Again, it's that whole idea of empowerment is masquerading as surrender. Peace is the power at the heart of God. And he says that it's a state of inner calm so complete that nothing can disturb it. It comes only from the knowledge that it is all. Fathomless peace is meant by the peace of spirit. The infinite is always at peace because there's nothing to disturb it. A realization of our oneness with omnipresence brings peace. Well, peaches are good, but the peace which is accompanied by a consciousness of power. So in a deep and practiced realization of oneness, I believe that there is an opening that occurs. Ernest Holmes called it the place which lies open to the infinite. It is that place we are both the inlet and the outlet. And we must look for that, look for the feeling of that connection. We are always connected, but we disconnect in our awareness, we disconnect in our thinking, we disconnect in our knowing of ourselves or our worthiness of ourselves, and we kind of go unconscious into thinking that there's more, that there's a greater, more going on. So when we step away from all that we've believed or committed to believing about pain and suffering, and when we question all that we believe or committed to, there's a sacred space available for a new life-giving understanding of the journey we are on. So what we're really seeking to do in spiritual practice is to create space. To create space. I was reading some Joel Goldsmith, who was an American mystic, and he said, before everything, meditate. Sam might meditate, but before everything, we must meditate. And that our treatments, our spiritual mind treatments, our prayers aren't about the mindless repetitions or the affirmations, all of that. It's about us receiving that treatment, that information, that inspiration from that wellspring of wisdom within. It's not about saying, okay, law, do this, mind, do this. It's that until we listen and know where our inspired, sacred, high, and holy guidance is from, which is that God within us, until we do that, then we might as well just skip it altogether, because this is about listening to that higher idea. The place which lies open to the infinite is longing to source us, inspire us, to heal us, and to love this world through and as us. The place that lies open to the infinite calls us to know that which we may have confined ourselves to knowing about the word shock is also available to be understood as gift, as blessing, miracle, and surprise. Can we take that word away from a singular event and reopen the possibilities around it? Not in any way dismissing where we've been. Not in any way dismissing where we've been and what we've gone through, but allowing for the fact that with all of that, there is this bigger that we are. There is the bigger thing that we are. Awe is that word which offers us a way to describe the indescribable, the ineffable, and the wondrous. That place which lies open to the infinite invites us to open the door and to walk through the door, where we remember that peace and security are not and never have been found outside of ourselves, but indeed are always leaving crumbs for us to follow, so that we might remember to turn within to the joy of creation itself. You know, I say fairly often, the part of the goal of this teaching is so that the world doesn't take you out, but it takes you deeper. You know, I don't want the events of this world to take me out. I don't want them to take you out. I want the events of this world, the things that happen, to take us deeper. And then to ask that question, what is there for me to know? And who am I to be in this? Who am I to be? And from there we go, okay, what is mine to do? And that's where we stand in service and in full integrity as the spiritual beings we are. When I turn into, this is for me, I know that when I turn intentionally to that place of peace within, the ideas of shock and awe become gifts of new perception and radiant delight. And I'm really serious about this, because peace and our willingness to revel in it, to reveal it, and to live from it, that's how we recalibrate to our oneness. To our oneness. So it's in that place of peace that I can behold just beauty and miraculousness. It's in a place of peace where my husband and I were on a camping trip and a raft trip a few weeks ago at the end of August, and without electricity, without internet, without any of that. And the shock and awe for me is that we were able to not just set up and take down our tents, but that we actually were able to thrive in this environment. Who knew? I mean, for me, Holiday Inn is camping. And so we both got to just stand back in awe and also to regard this. We were on the middle fork of the Salmon River in Idaho, to be able to look up every day to the sky and these beautiful puffy clouds with eagles flying, with hawks flying, with magpies over by the side of the creek and the river calling to us. It was amazing, and it was so profoundly centering and exciting. You know, there's nothing boring about being one. Sometimes I think that we are concerned that if we become one, if we become more aware of our spiritual nature, we might get very, very bored and very passive. And that is absolutely not the case. It's only when we become one and become conscious of our oneness that we get to move in a heightened, more inspired sense of activity in the world. We get to become instruments. We become instruments for love, for peace, for joy, for service, for compassion, for all of that. And we become available to all of the good. We begin to see it with new eyes. You know, that place of peace, and I have to say, with a transformed sense of shock and awe, and I talked about this last week in the second service. I didn't bring it up here, but our son and his girlfriend have been together for a while now, and they're living together, and she has 3 young sons, and they have basically started calling him dad and daddy, because he is the most stable, male, consistent father figure they've ever had. My son is rising to this place of being father to these 3 young boys and reminding them that they have to love themselves first. Who even knew he was listening to us when we told him that? Who knew? But even better than that, I mean, that's really cool. But now they call us Grandma and Grandpa. So poof, we're grandparents. Happy Grandparents' Day indeed. Come on now. There are times when I'm shocked to look around this beloved and beautiful community, and I am filled with awe about that every day. I get to pray with you. I get to play with you. I get to serve with you. I get to celebrate with you, and I get to grow with you. That fills me with a sense of awe and wonder all the time. You know, when I come in on Mondays and when we're working through the week, the nature of our office is such that we are immediately saying to each other, how may I support you? How may I give to you? How can I help you? How can I be there for you and to love you? And those are conscious questions that we ask. And we don't say, how can I fix you? We don't say, how can I make you more comfortable for me to be around? We don't say any of that. We say, how may I love you? How can I help you today? How can I support you? That is the energy of our office. I can't imagine how this community would thrive without that at its core. And it's so powerful. It is so amazing. I never want to leave. I come in early and I leave late because it's so good to be here. Terry, you're that. You are that channel for that. Some more shock and awe for you. Last week after service, I went to visit one of our members who was in the hospital after total knee replacement. I really was prepared to walk in and to, oh, how you doing? How can I support you? And this burst of love and joy and energy just was emanating from the bed, and she was so excited about how well she was doing and that now she was going to be able to walk and move and do everything she wants to do, that seriously, when I walked out of the room, I felt better. So let me share the whole passage from Ernest Holmes. There is a place within us which lies open to the infinite, but when the Spirit brings its gift, by pouring itself through us, it can give to us only what we take. The taking is mental. If we persist in saying that life will not give us that which is good, as in, God will not answer my prayer, It cannot, for life must reveal itself to us through our intelligence. And this tells me that the divine center within us is always seeking to inform our perceptions and our growth as centers for the divine operation of God, as spiritual beings. When you and I come into a now moment of perception, when we renew our perceptions, you know what we do? We re-now the moment. So we're not carrying our perceptions and our expectations from the past. We are not judging this present moment based on what has happened before. We are actively living in that idea that principle is not bound by precedent. We renew to re-now. And that's a powerful thing to do. We transform and we re-now our lives by the renewing of our minds. Who knew? Be ye transformed by the renewing of your minds. And that passage from the Bible didn't say, be you mildly shifted. Be you kind of adjusted. Be you a little bit happier. It said, be transformed by the renewing of your minds. And that's what we seek to do. So my invitation for you this week is to take back your life, take back your peace, take back the empowerment you already have when you surrender to the greater knowing of who and what you are. When we know who God is in us and who we are in God, we actually live from this place of heightened joy and awareness because we are no longer anchoring ourselves to this ground here, but we are living from our sacred ground here, the ground of being. So if there's any area of your life or your thinking that's gotten stuck in fear or past hurts or someone else's opinions, take back your magnificent mind and proclaim from the very depths of your sacred soul, peace, peace. Peace be still and know that I am God. Peace be still and know that the power and presence of infinite love, wisdom, possibility, and creation is fully alive and just waiting to express within you, and just waiting to express around you and as you, and to touch the hearts of other people. God is alive within you as beauty, wonder, and yes, shock, and yes, awe, and yes, magnificence and love. You are surrendered now and empowered now because you are a center for the divine operation of God itself. So go forth and live. All right. Let's pray. All right, so I invite everyone to turn inward to that place of peace, that infinite place within us, where we are that inlet for the inspiration of the infinite itself, and we are the outlet for the joy, the magic, the magnificence, the love, the wisdom. We are that. We are all of that. We recognize that. We recognize that this magnificence is all that there is. We recognize that it is all that there is one power, one presence, one life, and one mind, and that is God. At residence, awake, and absolutely surrounding and filling each and every one of us. So we listen for that truth. We listen for our knowing, for our divine identity. And confidently, we move into our lives, knowing ourselves as God knows us, knowing ourselves as Spirit knows us. Whether your word for God is Shiva, or God, or life, or Buddha, or the divine, or life, whatever it is, we move into that. Available. And we declare and know that peace is the power at the heart of God, and peace is the power within the heart of each and every one of us. And from that knowing, I know that we are blessed. We are a blessing in this community, in this church, and that this church is a center for the divine operation of God as well. How wonderful to know that we are that light and we are that life. I bless this church. I bless all churches, all mosques, temples, synagogues, ashrams, cathedrals, all of it. They're all places where God is being celebrated, where light is being shined, all paths to God. How wonderful to know that. And we surround this world with a deeper knowing of peace, a deeper knowing of compassion and love and support. We particularly surround all of those people who have been affected by the fires in Hawaii, the weather on the East Coast, the earthquake in Morocco. We bless each soul, each being. And we know for them that they are loved, that they are filled with all that they need, that there is a spirit of givingness on this planet that will not be denied, and we honor it, we support it, we participate in it because it is love. So for this and for so much more, I am grateful. And in my gratitude, there is great peace and excitement as I release this word to spiritual law, knowing it is already done. Indeed, all we've done is recognize the nature of God as it already is, fully active, fully loving, fully willing, fully available, fully present. So we let it be so. We say together, and so it is, and I invite you to say, Amen. So let's sing this one time. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. So now is when we invite you to give us your tithes, your love offerings, your gifts. We accept them, and we bless you for that, and we thank you. So I invite you to take that gift and hold it in your hand and to say with me our affirmative giving statement. From the love of pure spirit within me, I bless this gift. I send it forth to heal and bless and prosper. It is evidence of my faith and belief. It does good work in the world and returns to me multiplied abundantly. And so it is. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful.
What the world needs now is love, sweet love. It's the only thing that there's just too little of. What the world needs now is love, sweet love. No, not just for some, but for everyone. Lord, we don't need another mountain. There are mountains and hillsides enough to climb. There are oceans and rivers enough to cross, enough to last until the end of time. What the world needs now is love, sweet love. It's the only thing that there's just too little love. What the world needs now is love, sweet love. No, not just for some, but for everyone. Lord, we don't need another meadow. There are cornfields and wheat fields enough to grow. There are sunbeams and moonbeams enough to shine, enough to last. Oh Lord, if you listen, you need to know. Oh, what the world needs now is love, sweet love. It's the only thing that there's just too little love. What the world needs now is love, sweet love. It's the only thing that there's just too little love. It's for everyone. You know it's for everyone. Come on. Do you believe that? Do you believe it? I think you do. That's why we're here. What the world needs now is love, sweet love. What the world needs now. Can I hear you? What the world needs now. What the world needs now is love. God bless you.
So I've returned to the scene of the crime. On my effort to be my best self, I am still on the upswing of the learning curve. Sam, what was the name of the song that I didn't get the cue for the congregational song?
You said you were good. We did everything.
We did? Yeah. I said to you, I missed it, and you said, oh.
Well,
Sam, it's that medication.
I zoned out. I actually sat here during meditation and thought we missed that. I missed that cue. I've been lamenting over there for 45 minutes. I'm experiencing evolution at this moment. I'm here with your announcements. Thank you to our NHCRS band soloist Tina Meeks. I just want to say I was ready to accept whatever penance he would deal out to me. Sunday, September 10th, right now, today. If this is your first time at our church, we are delighted you are here. Please stop by the welcome table on the patio to pick up a packet of information just for you. On your bulletin, you will see how to make donations to our church through text to give number, QR code, or through our website, nhcrs.org/give. Prayer with a practitioner is available after service in person and on Zoom. If you would like to support the people of Hawaii who have been affected by recent wildfires, please pick up a flyer on the patio or go to our website to see the many ways to help. Every Sunday morning at 9:45, our junior church provides spiritual uplift and education to kids from toddler to teen and in between. Wednesday, Taizé service with practitioner Joanne O'Brien. Meditation at 6:50, service at 7 p.m. Join us this week for a wonderful evening of chanting, meditation, and prayer. There will be a potluck following, so please bring a dish to share. It is not too late to sign up for the Divine Audacity class with Reverend Steen, Tuesdays, September 26th on Zoom.
Wow.
Are you ready to activate the gifts of God already residing and alive within you? Join Reverend Sydney for this amazing class based on the book Divine Audacity by Linda Martella Whitsitt, available in our bookstore. Cost is, not for the book, but for the class, is $125.
We have 3 more classes. So the next 3 Tuesdays, we invite you to be a part of it. We are having a good time. And it's on Zoom. It's not in person. So I hope you'll join us.
Sign up online or on the patio.
On the patio.
Grief support group with practitioner Carol Winokur meets on Zoom today at 1 p.m. Zoom links are available on our website. The Good Gossip Club with practitioner Nikki Svara meets today at 1:15 in our junior church. Our Creative Arts Ministries September event is Salsa Dancing and Fellowship. Nothing? All right. Friday, September 15th, 7 to 9 p.m., our very own Mary Highland, RS practitioner, and Gilbert Acuna Jr. will treat us to an evening of salsa dance instruction and practice. No experience necessary. Please sign up on the patio. Reverend Sidney, don't we have something coming up with the Loving Outreach Ministry?
Yes, we do. I'm just making gestures over to Sam, going like this. Yes, we do, absolutely. So next Sunday, which is the third Sunday of the month, we will be once again gathering to do our brunch in the park. It is part of our Loving Outreach, and there's a map out on the patio and all the information. You can sign up. This is where we feed people who are experiencing houselessness or are challenged by not having enough to eat. So it's a wonderful ministry. Last time we fed over 60 people. And I know that I participate, everybody participates, I mean, as many people as we can, and we invite you. You can sign up for the food you want to bring, or if you want to be a part of the experience itself, we would love to have you there, or if you'd like to contribute funds to support this ministry financially, we accept that as well. So thank you so much.
I've done it, and it's amazing. Walk the Labyrinth. Come one, come all, and support your soul with the peace and blessing of a labyrinth walk. Friday, September 22nd, 6:30 p.m., orientation and explanation for the first-time walkers, and walk from 7 to 9 p.m. Saturday, September 23rd, 10 a.m. to 1 p.m., healing walk. If you'd like to volunteer to support this ministry, please sign up on the patio. Join Dr. Mark for a trip to Machu Picchu. I just love musical cues. April 18th to the 26th, 2024. Trip details and brochures can be found on our website and on the patio. Don't miss out. Zoom virtual patio, before and after Sunday and Wednesday services. Zoom meditation every Monday through Saturday from 7:55 to 8:15 a.m. Visit our website, NHCRS.org, to obtain Zoom links and more info about all our events, and to sign up for weekly e-blasts and monthly newsletters. Peace.
All right. If we have practitioners in the congregation today, would you please come forward so that we can know who you are and where you are, because you get to pray with them if you want to. We are so grateful that anybody who joined us online or here is here. We are grateful you chose church. Let's stand now and sing our peace song. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. God as our Father, families all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my solemn vow. Take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. All right, would you please repeat after me? I am at home in the heart of God. My life is anchored in truth. I can never be separate. I live in the consciousness of peace. I release all fear. I am living love. Have a great week.